Fragdos, and the moment that you guys have all been waiting for, my favorite game, Assassin's Creed Black Flag multiplayer. I am joined by my two favorite devs from our Annecy studio. How are you guys doing? We've got Tim Brown, the lead game designer.
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
So energetic. I know you guys have been on long flights to get here to New York.
Yeah.
And Etienne, you are the content manager. How's it going, you guys?
I'm doing awesome.
I'm doing awesome.
Awesome.
So what exactly are your guys' roles within the dev team?
You go first.
Well, pretty much as a content manager on Assassin's Creed multiplayer, what I do is I work on everything that's not about the game, but that's not gaming, but that goes out. So trailers, videos, screenshots that we put out. That's pretty much what I work on.
Everything content related is this man right here. So if there's any mess ups, blame it on him.
Exactly.
And what does a lead game designer do?
Okay, so a lead game designer is in charge of all the designers who are responsible for the multiplayer. So I run the design team. We're responsible for balancing, for different game modes or new features and things, which we'll come to in a minute, and pretty much that.
So you're not only in charge of the game. Do you have to manage people, the real people too?
I have to deal with people as well.
That's a hard role right there in itself. So Etienne, we're gonna get right into it. So I know we've had multiplayer in Assassins before. Kind of run down. This isn't the first time that we've seen it.
Yeah, we started back in introducing multiplayer in 2010 with Brotherhood, and since that game, every year the team has been working really hard to not only improve the game itself, but also add up some content and make it better and better at every installment that we ship out. And this year, I'm really happy because it's by far the best Assassin's Creed multiplayer we've ever put out. It's huge, it's awesome, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm so excited, and I'm glad that it's October. So biggest differences that you can tell us for maybe some of the past multiplayers to this one right now in Assassin's Creed Black Flag?
Yeah, okay, so where do I start? Like Etienne said, biggest Assassin's Creed ever. And we're introducing a brand new feature called Game Lab, which you've already mentioned on the stream, which we're going to be playing in just a minute, one of the modes we created in-house. We've got improvements to Wolfpack. We've got a whole ream of new things, just like introducing clans like properly in game this year.
Clans. I'm excited for
exactly,
clans. I heard
yeah,
about Clans of Packs, which you gave us the reveal for. Super excited for.
She'll do a clan. She'll build one.
Oh yeah?
I'm gonna have one if nobody steals it. So I don't even want to say what the name of it is because I know somebody at home will be like, "I got my game before you," and start it.
Excellent.
So go over a little bit about the Game Labs. Give us a little bit more in depth about it.
Okay, so like I said, Game Lab it allows you to create your own modes, but it's basically you take one of the 6 existing game modes. We allow you to play around with over 200 different parameters. And what's really, really cool about this, and what we're very excited to see, is we're basically giving the power to the player. The player is going to be able to mess around with the game mode. They can share with their friends. We're going to be tracking all the modes that get created, and the most popular modes, they're going to be put into what we call a public playlist, which means potentially you guys could be making a game mode that could be played by like millions of players. And we can't wait to see what the community comes up with. So like
their own little designers in a sense.
Yeah, well, making my life easier.
Yeah. Wait, have there been any cool modes that you guys have made in the studio so far that you guys have been kind of playing out and testing?
Well, we showed Pistolier at PAX, and we're gonna play Frantic today, which is actually a very good example of how you can twist the gameplay and really make something that's completely different from what you would expect from past multiplayer games.
So tell us, I know we did play Pistolier at PAX. Tell us maybe the difference between Pistolier mode and what all the players today have been playing for Frantic.
Okay, so Pistolier mode was a way we showed the power of Game Lab to show that you could basically make a game mode where only gun kills would work and things like that. With Frantic, we've changed it up a little bit, and what we're doing is we're allowing players to we're simplifying the rules, but still keeping like quite a fast pace, hence being called Frantic. Basically, any good action, kills, stuns, kicking people on the ground when they're dead.
Yes, ground finish.
That'll give you 1 point. And yeah, so it's really simple. You'll see low-scoring games, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be fast, action-packed games. And yeah, you're going to see us playing that in just a minute, I think.
Awesome. So now, give me some of your best tips and tricks for Frantic mode.
Okay, for me?
For you, personally, give me a tip and trick.
I'm going to start off being stealthy.
Okay.
But if I start doing well, which hopefully I will, and I'll have more pursuers, then I'm probably going to be moving a bit quicker because I'm going to be not going to be able to defend myself against the like multiple pursuers. So then I'm going to start using some of the new like new ability, time phase. I'm going to use that to try and stop people from chasing after me. And I'll be using disguise a lot, I think.
Got it. I love the disguise. So now, I mean, one of the biggest things too with Frantic mode is everybody's kind of on the same playing field. There's no, I mean, in this mode, everybody's got the same abilities. I mean, how, especially with the players that we've been seeing, how have the players been doing? I mean, throwing them in on a game mode that they've never played before, maybe not used to. I mean, has it been difficult for them?
No, I think a lot of players have picked it up really, really easily. The rules are kind of simplified. You know, we're not making players choose which ability set in this game lab mode. Obviously, players will be able to do that and change things up. But people have been picking up really easily. We've been seeing some pretty good action going on. I know you guys were commentating on it, and we were watching that while they were playing. So that was really, really cool. And yeah, so very excited to see people playing. They seem to be picking it up really easily.
That looks awesome. So I know we have tons of new characters in this multiplayer. Maybe we could talk a little bit about some of the characters, who your guys' favorites are.
Okay. Etienne?
I think I'm always having a hard time picking because I got like a couple favorites. I think my favorite would be the Puppeteer because she has those very acrobatic kill moves that I just really like.
She's the one that does the hip move. She like jumps on the hips and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, little sexy moves there. Who's your favorite character?
It's got to be the Dandy. He's like the one that splits the division. Some people love him, some people hate him. But I think he's very cool. He's quite badass. So yeah, he's definitely my favorite.
I'm gonna have to go with Lady Black.
Okay.
I think Lady Black is my favorite. But there are different, I mean, tons and tons of characters too. And hopefully we get some awesome DLC content that always comes out for the multiplayer. Can you guys talk a little bit maybe about the community that's behind Assassins? I know your guys' community is awesome and it's really big. It's one of probably Ubisoft's biggest communities too, is for the Assassins brand.
Our community is great, and it actually helps us out a lot making the game better. And Tim knows a lot about this.
Yeah, so a lot of community contact me on Twitter, which I have no problem with. I love constructive criticism. If people have good things to say or bad things to say, it's great. You know, we're all about reading the forums. A lot of the dev reads the forums, and you can get in contact like via Twitter and things like that. It's always interesting to see what people say. Game Lab, in fact, came partly from what people were saying. We knew that some players have favorite abilities. Some people say, oh, this ability is kind of overpowered or something like that. And we said, what would happen if we could give them the power to basically say, don't use that ability? And this is kind of where Game Lab spawned from.
That's awesome.
So really, like I've said, this feature is for the community, and it kind of stems from the community. So very excited.
So I know cosplayers, being in New York, I mean, the Assassins fans and the cosplayers that come out, like what have been the best cosplayers that you guys have seen? Not only at just this event, but maybe some past events that you've gone to?
We have some fantastic multiplayer cosplayers. Yeah, the attention to detail. You go in on some of the some of the
little sewing
clothes and stuff, and they.
Sewing right here.
There you go, exactly. And you have that's the other thing. Assassin's Creed cosplay seems to be appealing to all the ages. We've got a young man down here, but you see all sorts of ages, and also we have some fantastic female cosplayers, which I think is cool.
We had some epic cosplayers from both multiplayer and solo at San Diego Comic-Con. It was like high level.
So I mean, in development for you guys, how long has it taken? Like, how long have you guys been working on the multiplayer?
So we initially start sort of midsummer talking about it, but we were also finishing AC3. So you could say sort of a year and a half roughly, but full development, it's been more like just under a year now. And obviously,
that's pretty fast.
Yeah, and but.
So is the whole year crunch time then, technically?
No, it's not all crunch. It's close to, but it's not all crunch. But actually, that's actually something we turn to our advantage, because what it means is we're iterating every year. So we get direct feedback from fans, like we've talked about already, from the community, and it means we can actually, rather than just supporting the game for 2 years but not be able to put a major feature in, we can really change stuff. So we've kind of turned that to our advantage.
Well, we first introduced Wolfpack last year because we also wanted to add a co-op twist to the game. And a lot of people loved it, and what we wanted to do this year is expand it. So last year it was like pretty much a mode, and this year it's turning into a full experience with the Wolfpack discovery on the one side that's like story-based, and Unleashed on the other side. That's extremely challenging. And I guess we're going to be talking and playing that on Sunday.
So if you guys are watching the stream, make sure that you come back on Sunday and watch that, because that's going to be super exciting. We do have exclusive reveals for you guys each day, too, that we will be going over, which I know you guys brought us one today, which I'm still waiting. I'm just like, oh, I want to see it so bad. Because at PAX, we had one every single day. Do we have one every day this time?
Pretty much.
Pretty much almost every day. So you heard that. He's going to bring you guys exclusive content every day, hopefully, or close to every day for Assassin's Creed. So what platforms, if people want to get the game, what platforms is it coming out on?
A lot of them. And that's the fun thing with developing on all those platforms at the same time. But we're coming out on October 29th on current gen platforms, and will be a day one title on next gen. So it's coming. It's in a few weeks.
Yeah, it's quite scary how close it is now.
So 29th of October here. So what are you guys going to do after the game launches? Do you guys go on a big holiday? Do you go straight to the next title? Like what is the plans?
We're immediately starting on what's known as post-launch support. So basically, the game comes out, but that doesn't mean that
you're done.
We're done. And this year we have the biggest amount of post-launch support we've ever had. Not allowed to talk about certain things. I'm looking at Etienne at the moment. We might have some stuff maybe.
Don't get me in trouble.
Yeah, maybe later on throughout this event, maybe we'll reveal a little more.
Okay,
but we've got some very cool stuff. Events are coming back. Events were really popular last year. We're bringing those back, and they're going to be even better with new stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about. Oh, it's so fun not being able to talk about stuff.
It's like we're going to talk about the stuff that we can't talk about, so we're not going to talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, though it leaves everybody in suspense, because when you have a game that's, coming out and it's new, you want to know about it, but you don't want to know, because you want that excitement to still be there when you get a game,
absolutely.
right? And that's the biggest thing, too, is I had someone ask the best question. When you walk into, say, GameStop here in the States, and you already know everything about the game, do you want someone to know all about your game already, because there's so many other titles out there, or do you not want to ruin it? Like, how do you find that balance?
So, often people ask questions, like on Twitter, ask you direct questions and things like that. And it's really tough. You've worked on this game. You're really excited to tell them, but at the same time, it's a bit like saying, I'm really excited about this new movie. And you speak to the director, and the director then tells you the whole plot. And so there's no,
point in
totally
seeing the movie.
spoiled. You may enjoy it, but you're not going to enjoy it as much. And so it's really tough coming up with suitable answers that don't give too much away. And we've given a lot away already, but we've still got some surprises. There's story stuff coming back this year, which we haven't spoiled and won't be spoiling. So yeah.
And the way I see it is, you may know a lot of stuff about a game when it comes out, but as long as you haven't played it, as you're not actually into it, then it's not the same thing. It's not experiencing the actual thing.
So let's talk a little bit about the maps. I know there's tons of different maps in multiplayer. It's not only the characters that are important and the abilities. It's actually, where you're playing and the map that you're playing on. There can be super large maps to tiny maps. So talk a little bit maybe about the maps in the multiplayer.
Okay, where do I start? We've got 8.
I know there's a ton.
8 new maps coming this year. 2 we're going to be revealing shortly, I think. But what can I say? We introduced the idea of organic maps last year, and we've continued it this year. There's more traditional street-type maps, the sort of thing that people from ACR really enjoyed. So you've got that kind of thing. But then on top of that, we've got some other maps which more organic, feel more natural, a bit like more like a real-life location where the community is kind of built into it.
That's awesome.
So like Sabre Island, for example, the first map we revealed, that's kind of like a cove or like a cave system where they've built up around it, and we've got more stuff like that, which is very cool.
That's the one thing I like about working on Pirate Game, is that you get to the Caribbean as your playground, and we could select the prime and the greatest locations, and it adds a lot of variety to the game. We have some maps that are more about city gameplay, stealth, using small streets and building, like Havana, that we revealed at PAX actually, and some that we're going to take a look at that are more about being in the wilderness and more open spaces, and it really does affect the way people play on them and experience them. So you know what? Why don't we take a look at those map reveals?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have map reveals today. So we're going to go over 2 maps that they brought to show us. So we're going to take a look at them right now. So we're going to roll the footage for those. So both of those maps looked absolutely gorgeous. Can you maybe talk to us a little bit about the both maps that we saw, maybe your guys' favorites?
Sure. Well, I think we both have the same favorite, right?
I think we do.
Yeah. So Tampa Bay is definitely my favorite, at least playing Artifact Assault and Deathmatch as well. I don't know, it's for Artifact Assault, you've got this giant church in the middle, which is this huge break, and you get people running over the rooftops and using it to try and get advantage. You also have people running all around it. So from a sort of competitive point of view, it's a great map to play on, for me personally anyway.
I really like it. It's basically it's a missionary settlement. So it's built around that mission that Tim was mentioning. It's got a cloister behind, so you kind of can hide around and stalk and assault players there. But it also got a more open part. It's got a winery, it's got plantations. So it's really a balanced map, and I really like the way it looks and feel.
Perfect. So you guys saw it right here first on the next level, both of our map reveals. Stay tuned for the rest of the weekend, but before we do that, I know we talked about it briefly, but if people are just joining us, where can we pre-order the game? When does the game come out? And maybe kind of end on that note.
Sure. Do you want to take
Well,
it?
the game comes out in like less than 3 weeks now. It's October 29th.
October 29th!
Yes.
We can't wait to see you guys online, play with you,
Start our plans.
Yeah.
join your clan maybe.
Start creating the Game Lab modes. Start getting those out in the open. You can really tell I really want to play Game Lab with other players, right?
So where can people get the game pre-order?
You can pre-order it online. If you're here at the show, like you guys, you can go around the back of the booth, pre-order it right now. You get special goodies and things like that. And then, of course, any of the main retailers, you'll be able to pre-order that too.
Perfect. So you guys heard it here first, October 29th. Make sure that you guys go get your copy of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. We're going to jump on the multiplayer, play with these guys. Where can we find you guys on Twitter?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm at Nitch, N1TCH.
Easy.
Yeah. And I'm at E_Michon.
M-I-C-H-O-N.
Those weird French names.
So thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining us. Make sure that you guys at home come back tomorrow. We're going to be going over some more exclusive reveals. We're going to be doing some gameplay with these two gentlemen right here. So make sure you come back. And we're going to jump to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to get back to more gameplay. So stay tuned.